We are taking another look at Grapeville, Pennsylvania. We look this time at the old plant that was once the Westmoreland glass plant, originally founded as the Westmoreland Specialty Company in 1889. A friend of mine was up in an airplane around 1990 and did this shot when I was out there running a project for studio space for artists. A good roof shot. There was just an awful lot of roofs in that place that had to be taken care of. I learned to do torch-stone modified bitumen roofing, and I learned to patch the tar and gravel roofing. This is a nice shot. This is an evening light. I like to photograph with that. This area over here is part of Jeanette. That's across the tracks. Grapeville is in back here. Dave Learn shows up. In this one on the roof, Dave was instrumental in me getting in touch with the owner. I was trying to find studio space for him. And in the process of doing that, I got in touch with the owner, and the owner started talking me into taking over the place and developing this project. A project which I had in mind for a long time of getting an old building and making it into studio space. Looking down the railroad toward Jeanette, looking west more or less. The two old pot furnaces, an archaic way of making glass. There are very few of these left in the country. These are left as a almost intact museum to the pressed glass industry and the pot furnace operation. And due to the negligence of the owner, the place is now a ruin. I would sometimes go up on the roof and do some drawing. This was one of those times. Out my studio window, a painting I did. I sometimes did painting that relied on photography, and this one did not. This was completely eye-hand coordination thing. That's a photo out my studio window. Some photos require very little explanation. I could go on about them, but it wouldn't be very meaningful. This is what I considered the backyard of the factory, and that was Grapeville up on the hill. Grapeville was built as a company town for the factory here. Another shot over the roofs and looking toward another aspect of Grapeville. A friend of mine, Hera, who was a frequent visitor. Another friend, Richard Stoner, with his big view camera up on the roof. Another shot of Stoner. He had a big 8x10 view camera. He made these beautiful black and white prints. This is an old shot. I have no idea who did it, but it was before I was ever there. But it gives a good sense of context. It shows how the factory relates to the town. This is Grapeville in the background. It shows the extent of the factory. The person who was general manager of the factory, Bob Roop, one time told me that there were 250,000 feet under roof there, 250,000 square feet. And I had no reason to argue with him. This, unfortunately, was part of the end game, and we were shutting down when the owner had refused to deal with the township code enforcers. Now we're taking a look at the courtyard, the drawing I did. The courtyard was right outside the area where I lived, and I would get a lot of nice views. This was in wintertime. I like things in winter, the way they look. Another winter shot, showing the courtyard with the ramp coming across. And this is on the edge of the courtyard. Several artists put their sculptures. That was Paul Siciliano's, that was Keith McManus's. And that's looking down into the courtyard, seeing the ramp coming across. And that's on a nice day. My friend Barney is there, out getting sun. This is one of Keith McManus' sculptures, and behind that is the door to the mold room, which we will probably see in the next production. This is number 3. We'll probably see that in number 4. A painting I did out the window where I was, my living quarters, looking into the courtyard. Another simple drawing looking into the courtyard. And we would have exhibits out there sometimes. And when we had exhibits, I would usually run a barbecue grill and make hot dogs and burgers, and that's why I have a spatula in my hand here. I was making burgers. This is that same courtyard. This is the door that was behind me in that photo. That gave entrance to the mold room, where they kept the molds that made the glass, and we'll see that later. This is again looking down the tracks towards Jeanette. An etching I did of that view. Another etching of the big track side of the plant. Gives a sense of the scale of the place. It was huge. This is looking down, looking east. The plant over here in the old Crossshore house. Crossshores ran a tannery just over the bank down in here. And the next view is a woodcut done from a photograph that I had given to me. It was done in the area right beside the tannery, looking up toward the place where the steamers would get water, and this was water for the factory, and this was the factory over here. And I believe we have gone far enough. Yes, we have. That tells us we've gone far enough. And we're going to say so long now until next time. Bye.